Hi, I'm Lee Pat. Welcome to day one of our Flash series, How to Write a Song Without Inspiration. Has it ever happened to you? You sit down with the good intention of coming up with your next masterpiece and suddenly everything goes blank. The page before you, your mind, and even your heart when you thought you were a sensitive person, an artist. How do you start? What do you start with in that case? What do you do? Well, there are people on YouTube who claim to have a system to have you play perfect music in a matter of minutes without even thinking. I'm one of them and I'm not one of them. I have a system to show you, but it's not mine. It has been devised by bigger minds. And it does involve some intellectual effort, but I want to show you how it can unlock creativity for you and actually, and quite counterintuitively, lead you to infinite inspiration. If you've watched my channel, 100 Ways to Start a Song, you will know that I'm talking about music theory, which tries to describe how music works and to examine and understand why it affects us in the ways it does. So back to the initial question. What do you start with when you have no inspiration, when, God forbid, you're faced with writer's block? Well, let's take one of the elements that theory talks about. It describes music in terms of melody, harmony, rhythm. And for the sake of argument, let's start with melody today and hope that one thing leads to another. What is melody? It's a sequence of notes of different pitch and duration over time. So let's start with a note and find the next note with the same name above it. C and C. The distance between these two notes, the interval between them, is called an octave, and Western theory has helpfully divided it into 12 equal parts called semitones to make it easier to transpose songs between keys. So let's take one semitone down from the upper C. Now let's take two, another two, now three, now four. And there you are. We have a perfectly artificial melody that we can now play with in order to find something that's interesting, that makes us say, aha, and that makes us want to go further with it. What can we do? We can play with the different elements we know the melody is made up of. We can change the pitches, or we can play with the durations of the notes. We can play with the shape of the melody. Now we have a big leap in the beginning and then a gradual descent towards the starting point. We can gradually ascend, or have a big drop in the beginning and then gradually ascend to the starting point. We can play with the energy of the melody, playing it faster or slower. We can look for a different degree of closure in the melody by ending on a different note. And there you are, a number of ideas you can use to come up with something interesting and take it from there. So how do you develop this initial idea? The answer tomorrow in day 2 of our Flash series, How to Write a Song Without Inspiration. Thanks for watching. I'm Lee Pat, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.